Hello, friends. I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you doing today? How's life where you are? Um, Yesterday after I did the video where I talked about changing of identity and stuff, and I went upstairs and I continued to have this conversation with myself. Like after the camera was off, I think I was cooking or something, or maybe making tea or something like that. But I continued this conversation with myself, and I thought, well, I should have, took the camera with me at that point in time, but I didn't because that's not how this show works. And that it kind of stuck with me last night. I thought about it more and more and more. And if you've been here for any length of time, you know that I have conversations about how this channel works or doesn't work all the time. Like, we talk about it a lot because it's something that's always kind of in my head, even though it's not something that concerns me, after 880 episodes, whatever we're at right now. I don't really give a damn how the channel performs and all that stuff. But what I do give a damn about is whether I enjoy doing it. And so as I was having this conversation with myself, which I do all the time, I'd like to think that other people do too, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just one of the weirdos. Having this conversation with myself about quitting this show. And first off, no, that's not going to happen. But I have the conversation. I have the thoughts about it. Because what would quitting this show look like for me? Would it be just literally saying I'm done? And part of that came from, I had a dream recently where I got arrested, went to jail, like immediately. There was no, like, get your stuff together week or whatever for tax evasion or something like that. I have no idea. To my knowledge, I haven't broken any laws recently, so I have no reason to be worried about going to jail. But in this dream, I was going to jail, and I had two major concerns. They took all my stuff, so I didn't have a cell phone. So I couldn't tell Em that I was in jail, so she didn't know what was going on. I also couldn't help her, I wouldn't be able to help her figure out the situation with my house and stuff because I couldn't get in contact with her. And the other concern was I couldn't tell you that it's over, right? I'm going to be gone for a while. And I think in the dream it was like 6 months. I was going to be in jail for 6 months, and I wouldn't be able to upload during that time. And so in the dream I broke out of jail and got a cell phone so that I could record a video for you and I could talk to Em and let her know what was going on. So that all being said, I was worried about continuing this show in that dream. And I thought, like, if I were to quit, what would it be like? What would I do with this channel? Because I don't think I could just let it sit. And the discussion that I've had with myself a lot in the past, but I shelved it long ago, was I had seriously considered making the show not daily. Making the show more like twice a week, or maybe 3 times a week if I was feeling good, or making it making it more or less at a whim. The problem is, if I do anything at a whim, it never lasts. If I just decide that I'll just upload the show whenever I feel like it, that would work for a couple weeks and then eventually just be like, and I would never come back to it. So having the daily schedule has kept me doing this. It's the only reason I continue to do it is because it became part of my day. It became just like going to work. And so I value that. But what bothers me is I don't have the capacity, either intellectually or emotionally, to make the show interesting every day. So there's a whole lot of days where it's just garbage. Like, I'm just talking about what the hell ever, and it doesn't make any sense to anybody who hasn't watched a lot of my stuff before. But there are days, occasionally, like once a week, sometimes twice a week, where I feel like I have a really good topic and a really good discussion. And if I had put a little bit more effort into the pre-planning of that show, or if I'd put a little bit more effort into the editing and visual style of that episode, I could have had a video that people would want to watch and share. And there's been enough of those episodes that I wish I had maybe figured out a way to isolate them so that I could maybe even re-upload them to a different channel or something like that, re-edited, like a kind of a curated version of the show. So I continue to have this conversation about, man, could I have made the show more successful had I done it less? Had I stopped doing it 5 days a week and decided to do it 2 days a week? Something that I could really put energy into to hone and figure out a way to make it more successful. And I think the answer is probably yes. I probably could have had a much more successful channel had I attempted to do so. But what I attempted to do instead was follow myself and follow what the intent of this channel was, which was to kind of give my daughters a diary. Here's Dad's diary. I don't write a diary anymore. I used to. I have journals from the past, but I don't do it anymore. But I gave my daughter a space to go look up things that Dad thought, or things that Dad said, or what was Dad doing on this day. And since they don't live with me anymore, it's become even more important for me to continue doing it for them, so that someday, I don't think they watch my videos, but I know that sometimes they do. But maybe someday they will, because they'll say, man, I want to be able to see what Dad's up to. Or like Em, when Em's not here, or when I'm not here, if I go away on a trip or she goes away, she watches the shows during those days just so she can hear my voice and she can, have some semblance of a conversation with me. So I decided to stick to that model. And I think a lot of this goes into what's going to happen on the gaming channel. I told you yesterday it's coming. It is definitely coming. Like the set is 90% ready. I have a few things left I need to do so that I feel like, okay, I'm ready to do this. And honestly, a lot of it is just me, that perfectionist problem that we talked about a few weeks ago. But some of it is logistically, I've told you before here, the reason that I can do this show every day is because it doesn't get in my way. It's I sit down for 10 minutes and I talk, and then I edit for 15 minutes, let that render, upload it. It's maybe an hour of my day, which is totally psychologically worth it to me. Whereas the gaming channel is going to be, those videos are going to be significantly harder to film. They're going to take more time to film. Even though they're going to be shorter videos, I'm going to try to keep them below 5 minutes. 3 minutes is my target. They're going to be shorter videos, but there's going to be a lot of interstitching with me talking versus game footage. Maybe even some like camera move type stuff, inserts, that sort of thing. So the editing is going to be more impactful, and then social media posting, I will be promoting those videos much harder on various websites like Reddit and Board Game Geek and my Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff, Facebook. So there'll be a lot more effort put into that channel than I'm doing here. And the hope is that, wrapping it back around to what I was just talking about, doing it less frequently but more intensely there, I hope that means that I can maintain it. And I'm going to be, hopefully leaning on some form of a community of you to help me push it, not push the channel, but push me. Help me, like, I want to see a review for this game, I want to see a review for that game. This was great, that wasn't, do this, do that, move on. Whereas here, there's not really any room for that. Like, I don't edit, I just do this. Planning. I think it's important for most projects, and I treat this like a project. I treat this like a job, because that's how I keep myself interested in it, and that's how I'm going to keep myself interested in that channel. So thank you. I got quite a few subscription notices yesterday from people signing up over there, so thank you for that. I hope that you'll come along for the ride and engage with me on that channel. We'll see what happens. Hopefully by this time next week I'll have probably 4 videos shot, but hopefully I'll be releasing them over the course of the next week. So we'll see. So thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends, being wonderful people. I appreciate you. And I'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, Doc, wait! I want to ask you something.
Today's random fact comes from Wikipedia. How long can a Nile crocodile hold its breath? They normally dive for only a few minutes, but will stay underwater for up to 30 minutes if threatened. And if they remain inactive, they can hold their breath for up to 2 hours.